I'm Timothy White here in the studio with Jerry Garcia and Bob Weir of the Grateful Dead. A few moments ago, we were talking about the early era for the Dead on Arista Records. I'd like to talk about Shakedown Street, a record on Arista in 1978. It was produced by the late lead guitarist for the band Little Feat, Lowell George. Let's talk about that album.
You know, it's really a pity with Shakedown Street that Lowell had to go out on tour.
Yeah.
Pretty much in the middle of it, leaving us to...
and we went to Egypt.
And we went to Egypt and then came back and finished it rather hurriedly.
We were, at the time, we were going with the Arista suggestion that we work with producers, sorta. We were being cooperative. Lowell was the next guy in that series of guys. We liked Little Feat's music, and we figured, well, here's a guy who has to deal with the dynamics of a band. He understands how bands work. And he came around, and he was perfect. He's a good old boy. He's a simpatico, you know.
I interviewed him for the gig.
Yeah, right.
And we went to dinner at the Golden Dragon Cafe the night after there had been a horrendous shootout.
Right. A Chinese gangland shooting, you know. They're still sweeping up the glass.
Still sweeping up the glass. There wasn't much blood around, but there were plenty of bullet holes.
What was the gist of your talk with him?
Hey, sounds like fun to me. How's it sound to you? Sounds like fun to me. When do we get started? That was pretty much it.
Yeah.
But, you know, it was really kind of silly for us choosing him for a producer because their studio records had never done very well for pretty much the same reason
as ours.
They never lived up to their live sound.
Right.
So, of course, we chose him for a producer. But it was starting to amount to something.
Yeah.
And then he had to leave and go on tour.
He came here and fell on it just like we do. You know, I mean, in that sense, he was like a brother.
and it crackled like a thundercloud. Don't tell me this town ain't got no heart. Don't tell me this town ain't got no heart. Don't tell me this town ain't got no heart. When I can hear it beat out loud. Nothing shaking on Shakedown Street. Used to be the heart of town. Tell me this town ain't got no heart. Just gotta poke around. Nothing shaking on Shakedown Street. Used to be the heart of town. Don't tell me this town ain't got no heart. Just gotta poke around. Nothing shaking on Shakedown Street. Used to be the heart of town. Don't tell me this town ain't got no heart. You just gotta poke around. Nothing shaking on Shakedown.
Shakedown Street, 1978, the title track from the Grateful Dead LP. I'm in the studio with the Grateful Dead, and Jerry Garcia, let's focus on you for a few moments. I believe that your family came from Spain. Do you know where in Spain?
From Coruña, the west coast of Spain. My father died when I was 5.
Well, what's your dad's name?
Jose Garcia. My father was a musician. That was the main thing that I know. I don't know why they came to the States. I imagine it was because of some economic problem or possibly the First World War. I don't know, something like that. They came around 1914. They came to the West Coast. The whole family did. And they're kind of upper middle class Spaniards. There's a whole slew of them, but they don't really have much truck with me. I'm kind of a black sheep. In fact, I'm a black sheep of black sheep. I understand my father was a black sheep, too.
Jerry, what were you like as a little kid?
I was a wise guy. I was a wise guy. I talked too much. I spoke out of turn. And I was a notorious underachiever.
I know you described yourself around the age of 13 as a hoodlum.
I went to Denman at junior high and Balboa in San Francisco, both of which were razor-toting schools. So it was a matter of self-preservation. Either you were a hoodlum or you were a puddle.
Were you part of a little gang?
I was part of a big gang. San Francisco was broken up into 2 loose groups called the Barts and the Shoes. The Shoes were the white shoe guys, the kind of Pat Boone looking, that thing. That was out in the avenues and kind of upscale. And the working class neighborhood was like the Barts, which is like Black Bart. Greasers, say, would be another expression. And again, the city was sort of divided bilaterally like that. And then there would be incursions into other neighborhoods where you'd beat everybody up, or everybody would beat you up, or that kind of stuff. It was war. I spent a lot of time in the Mission Emergency Hospital on weekends, holding my lip together, or my eye or something. Some guy hit me with a board.
When you were both really young, I mean, were you influenced by TV or anything? Did you read as a kid?
I was asthmatic when I was a little kid, so it kept me out off the streets a lot and in bed reading. It probably was a boon for me because I read. Otherwise, I would have been out doing kid stuff.
What kind of stuff would you read?
Everything. I devoured stuff. Ray Bradbury was my favorite guy when I was a kid. Martian Chronicles, that kind of stuff. And I also collected EC comic books, which were the comic books that every parent was afraid of during the 50s. The ultra horrible comic books. Tales from the Crypt.
Great stuff.
They had the most intelligent writing and the best artwork by far. When I was still in school in the city, I went on evenings and Saturdays to what's now the Art Institute. It used to be the California School of Fine Art. And I went there. I was a painter. I still paint, draw, and I do lots of graphic stuff on computers. So I still do a lot of it.
Do you have any favorite artists that fired your imagination?
Paul Klee, Van Gogh, Picasso, of course. Those were my real fireballs. Those were the ones I just loved everything I saw of theirs. Paul Klee especially for the sense of humor. Van Gogh for the incredible vibrance and the madness. Actually, when I was loving rock and roll, I had my first electric guitar and I was fumbling around with my old Dan Electro. That's when I was also going to art school, and my teacher at the time used to play records when we were painting. And he played a Big Bill Broonzy record. And that was the first time I heard somebody play acoustic blues. Right. I heard that sound, and I just had to be able to make it.
if my words did glow with the gold of sunshine, and my tunes were played on the harp unstrung, would you hear my voice come through the music? Would you hold it near as it were your own? It's a hand-me-down. The thoughts are broken. Perhaps they're better left unsung. I don't know. Don't really care. Let there be songs to fill the air. Ripple in still water when there is no pebble tossed, nor wind to blow. Reach out your hand. If your cup be empty, if your cup is full, may it be again, let it be known. There is a fountain that was not made by the hands of men. There is a road, no simple highway between the dawn and the dark of night. And if you go, no one may follow. That path is for your steps alone. Ripple in still water when there is no pebble tossed, no wind to blow. You choose to lead, must follow. But if you fall alone. If you should stand, then who's to guide you? If I knew the way, I would take you home. La da da da, la da da da, la da da, la da, la da da da, la da da da, la da da da, la da.
Ripple, 1970, acoustic blues Grateful Dead style from their American Beauty album. I'm Timothy White here in the studio with the Grateful Dead, and when we come back, we have lots more classic Grateful Dead, more talk about the new Built to Last album, and a special studio performance from Bob Weir and Rob Wasserman when we continue.
Which side are you on? Come on, come on, come on! Taste great, let's Billy. Taste great, let's Billy. Taste great. In this world you gotta choose. When it's Miller Lite, you can't lose. You get both. Taste great, let's Billy. Taste great. Miller Lite isn't just a regular beer with a watered down taste. When it's Miller Lite, less filling, tastes great. Let's Billy. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Greyhound, you'll always take me home for the holidays.
Let Greyhound take you home this holiday season, and you can still take advantage of low holiday money saver fares everywhere Greyhound goes. Some restrictions apply. Call Greyhound for details.
Greyhound, you'll always take me home for the holidays.
This holiday season, Greyhound is going home.
I'm Timothy White talking with Jerry Garcia and Bob Weir about their personal backgrounds. Bob, Jerry grew up in the city, but your boyhood was spent in Atherton, California. What was that like?
It was considerably more bucolic. It's like the Bel Air of Northern California, essentially. You know, I played ball. I was a jock, all that kind of stuff. I wasn't much into baseball, except for I really liked Willie Mays. But I was into football. I loved football. And I, ran track and stuff like that.
Did you have any other hobbies or pastimes as a kid besides sports and music?
Girls.
Still one of his leading hobbies.
And, that's about it. I did read a little. It was tough, but I did read a little. I'm dyslexic in the extreme and pretty nearly functionally illiterate. I can read the sports section. They never really heard of dyslexia. They just figured I was lazy, which I was. But this is the kind of stuff that you really can't get over. I got decent grades. In fact, in many cases, toward the end of my school career, I started getting good grades.
A lot of times if you're dyslexic, you develop a good memory. You pay attention to what you hear, and you learn stuff that way.
And so I managed to stay awake for at least half my classes and got A's and stuff like that. I got to be fairly roundly hated for it because I didn't take books home or anything because there was no point. I was good at English and literature and history. I liked history. I found it fascinating.
What did your dad do for a living?
What he did was he designed heating and cooling systems for big buildings, hotels, factories, whatever.
And how about the Weir family tree?
Scottish and German, I think. But I was adopted. It was a great family to be adopted into, I'll say that. On the Weir side of the family, it goes back to the Mayflower, believe it or not. And actually, it wasn't the Mayflower. It was the third ship after the Mayflower. And I'm related to a guy named Benedict Arnold, who, not the Benedict Arnold, but a guy who was governor of Rhode Island.
What are your mom and dad's names?
Eleanor and Frederick. And Eleanor, my mom was born in Switzerland.
Bobby, did you ever hold down any jobs outside of music?
I ran away to be a cowboy once when I was 15, and that was interesting. I had gone to school with a guy whose parents owned a ranch. And they offered me a job.
What was the name of the school?
Fountain Valley School in Colorado Springs in Colorado. And so I just sort of skipped town, and my folks found me, and then they became fast friends with my buddy's folks.
The buddy is Barlow.
Right.
I thought I'd bring that up for your listeners. Barlow spread is one of the last of the land and cattle baronies, the pre-oil and steel wealth of the West, So he was a remnant of Old West.
But they had you guys starting at the bottom.
Yeah, lived in a bunkhouse, got up way too early, did work that was unpleasant and hard, and I did the unpleasant stuff that the cowboys wouldn't do. Like, I shoveled lots of stalls.
Were you happy to get found when you got found, or?
No, actually, I was almost happy doing that.
Me and my uncle went riding down South Colorado, West Texas bound. We stopped over in Santa Fe, that day in the point, just about halfway. Hey, and it was the hottest part of the day. And I took the horses up to the stall, went to the barroom, ordered drinks for all. 3 days in the saddle, my body hurt. It being summer, I took off my shirt, and I tried to wash off some of that dusty dirt. West Texas cowboys, there's all around. We liquor and money, they load it down. So soon after payday, no, it seemed a shame. My uncle, he starts a friendly game. Yeah, my high-low jack and the women take the hand. Cowboys got sore. One of them called in, and then two more. Accused him of cheating. Oh no, it couldn't be. I know my uncle, he's as honest as me. Hey,
I love those cowboys. I let it go. Love my uncle, God rest his soul. Taught me good love, taught me all I know. Done it so well, I grabbed that coat. And I left this dead out there by the side of the road. Yeah.
I'm Timothy White here with Bob Weir and Jerry Garcia, and we'll be back with a lot more from the two of them after this.
Oh, the movie of the decade. Now available.
Just $24.98 per video cassette.
I have given a name to my pain, and it is Batman.
Batman. Stores everywhere.
The gift you want to give.
The gift you want to get.
Get Batman.
Vicky Vale.
Bruce Wayne.
And what do you do for a living?
I'm Batman.
Jack Nicholson. And Michael Keaton. Batman.
Rated PG-13. Specially priced.
Now on video cassette from Warner Home Video.
Greyhound, you'll always take me home for the holidays.
Let Greyhound take you home this holiday season, and you can still take advantage of low holiday money saver fares everywhere Greyhound goes. Some restrictions apply. Call Greyhound for details.
Greyhound, you'll always take me home for the holidays.
This holiday season, Greyhound is going home.
Ain't never seen the big kind, honey, that's okay with me. Ain't never seen the big kind, honey, that's okay with me. I'm having myself a big time, watching them 501 around on you.
He can be fierce and dangerous when confronted by a foe, waiting for that perfect moment, watching every move without making a sound. And when it's time to strike, he's as swift as the wind. He is a Marine, and he's one of a very special breed. If you think you'd like to be one of us, call 1-800-MARINES. We're looking for a few good men. Paid for by the Marine Corps.